If you saw yourself the way God sees you, it would fill you with a sense of amazement and compel you to fall before Him in worship. In that moment of realization, shame will discover itself powerless over you and be forced to retreat in disgrace. Worship dilutes the potency of self-shame because it elevates you to see above your own point of view as your focus is turned to God. Humiliation once crushed your spirit and threatened to pour out in toxic destruction. Now, in the midst of worship, humility, thanksgiving, and adoration flow out from you without self-conscious effort. Even so, the sense of assurance in your self-worth ebbs and flows. The day will come when we are freed from the gravitational pull of life's cares and break free from our inability to remain in worship. You will no longer have to depend on the tide of worship to drive shame away. Until then, shame reemerges from its hiding place as soon as a sense of awe towards God recedes from your heart. The respite from self-shame is all too brief. Shame has a way of burying itself under your consciousness and then reappearing at inopportune times. What options do you have when shame makes a reappearance? Fight it? In spite of the fact that you resist with prayer and willpower, even the aforementioned weapon of worship, you may find that attempting to hold back the tides to be futile. Over time, vibrant and authentic praise inevitably slips through your fingers until you grasp that willpower is unequal to the vastness of the challenge. Run or hide from it? That's what you've probably been doing all your life. It's hard enough to avoid someone who lives with you. That means there is only one possibility left, which is to take the route you've been trying so hard to circumvent. Face the issue head on and accept the truth. Being honest with yourself is the most difficult but necessary first step in dealing with the root cause of any problem. Break the pact of secrecy between you and your fears. You have kept the truth outside long enough, and it's time to allow it in, no matter how much you fear it. Realize that you cannot expect the light of self-knowledge to shine unless you are willing to be hurt by the flames of truth. Your mind may come up with all sorts of excuses and explanations to tell you you are not afraid, but those are really just lies you tell yourself so you don't feel weak and powerless. But telling yourself the truth, which is that you are afraid, is the most critical need you have in your life. Fear wields its greatest power when it arrives, but you are too frightened to acknowledge it. Once you deprive fear of the cover provided by your feigned ignorance and call out its existence, the power of fear begins to wane. Telling yourself that you are afraid is the beginning of profound changes in your life. It may open you to a whole new outlook that you would not have ever considered before. You begin to see your life experiences and yourself differently. You'll realize that the road to self-discovery passes through enemy-held lands, and that means you have to grow into a warrior. A hero's homecoming begins when you accept the fact that no one else is going to appear and rescue you from impending doom, not even God. You have to become your own defender. He wants you to learn how to face your fears, put down your internal distracting voices, and rise with determined courage. That's why there are times when it seems to you that God is not answering your prayer. Deliverance from circumstances you could solve yourself, though at great cost, really means rescuing you from having to grow up. Helping you to mature is the reason God called you on this journey. You are called to end a life of cowardice in inaction. The most monumental step to defeating the unconquerable villain is owning your path forward and facing your greatest fear, which in this case is admitting to yourself that you are afraid. As you resolve to fight back, call back your memories of the place where you bowed at the throne of grace before the majesty of the King. Return there, not to petition for a miraculous eviction of shame along with its offshoots, fear and pain. No, you are coming to the throne to receive the greatest gift He can give, the gift of being heard. The sovereign head of the world happens to be your personal friend, and He has time to listen to you.